Hey guys, Tony here. Back once again. It's been a little while. As usual, I seem to take these long breaks in between videos these days, but yeah, everything's good. Hope everybody's good out there. So yeah, as you can imagine, I have quite a backlog, and I'm gonna attempt to show you some of the best stuff out of that. It's a lot. Once again, it's gonna be another one of my videos. But I'd still have a ton left over, so I think after this I'm going to make a series of smaller videos just showing other stuff. I mean, in my opinion, it all merits being shown in a video, and sharing with you guys what I've found and what I've been listening to, But right here is kind of what I consider to be the best stuff, I had some time, so I figured what the hell. But yeah, there's a lot here, some fantastic stuff, a really cool mixture of, psych, jazz, UK folk, French progressive, like a really cool mix here, and some amazing things that, I don't know if my last recent finds video, I mentioned a local dealer who I met. A lot of this stuff came from him. A lot of it came from my local store, Red Scroll Records. Some of it came from online, that sort of thing. But yeah, this is pretty much what I consider to be the best stuff out of there. I have enough for probably a couple more videos, But anyway, I've been slowing down a little bit these past couple weeks, to be honest. So, I doubt you'll see another video like this from me for a while. I'll just put it that way. But yeah, again, I hope everybody's doing well out there. Hasn't been a ton of videos in the vinyl community. Excuse my mess here. Anyway. So, I guess I'll just get started. I didn't have a ton of time to kind of prep a little bit, which I usually do, at least have something to say, so bear with me here, But yeah, I'll start off with a couple things that I got from Mike, Bostonian Reggie, in a trade, probably a couple months ago now. But last time he was down here, I'd given him a couple records, and he, in turn, sent me a couple things, and this is what he sent. A couple albums that this one I've wanted. I honestly never see it, so he found a copy. But it's the Bird Songs of the Mesozoic. So yeah, the side band of members from Mission to Burma, Roger Miller and Martin Swoop. But yeah, very sort of progressive, I've talked about them before. I have I believe their debut EP. Very sort of rock and opposition sounding, chamber music-esque at times, But a really cool listen, and a beautiful copy, an original on their Ace of Hearts label out of Boston, and this is their debut LP, Magnetic Flip. So yeah, really happy to get that. Excuse the noise, it's hot. I have the AC on, which is right here. So, and he also sent this one's really cool. Was unaware of it until recently, But this is a Christian Boule. Christian Boule was. He was a member of Gong for a little while, not the original lineup. I think sort of afterwards he sort of joined that whole Gong family, if you will. The whole, all the different bands. He was part of one of their tours, I think, and then he was the leader of the band Clearlight, and he put out at least one solo album, maybe another one. But this is photo music. So yeah, very much of that genre, really sort of cosmic, spacey rock. Just a couple zanier moments on here, but yeah, really cool. Original press, I believe, on Polydor. Let's see. Excuse me. I'm not sure what press it actually is. Maybe a U.S. press. No, sorry, made in Canada, so Canadian press on Polydor. So yeah, Christian Boule, photo music. And there's the back. At times it's almost like Ashra Temple at times, He's a guitarist, along the lines of Steve Hillage. I think he's actually been called like Steve Hillage's little brother, that sort of thing, And does Steve Hillage play in here? No, I think other members of Gong and Clearlight are on here as well, but from 1978. So thank you, Mike. Really appreciate that. All right, so yeah, like I said, this local dealer pretty much has Psych, He had this incredible Psych collection. He's selling off all the stuff that he doesn't really listen to anymore, and keeping what he considers essentials for himself. And the stuff that he's getting rid of, for me, is just like, oh my god, you know? But the stuff he's keeping is just incredible. I've been to his place, I saw his collection, I saw the stuff he's keeping, and it's just mind-blowing. I mean, things I could only dream about. Now, there are a few pieces in here that, believe me, I thought I'd never, ever own. Here's one that I've wanted for a while. I've only had a reissue of this. Just never see it, you know, like that sort of thing. And he had it, and, you know, I got it. You know, the Velvet Underground loaded an original, beautiful copy of it. I've just wanted an original of this, you know. It's an album that I sort of grew up listening to. I have a really nice reissue of it, which I still have. I don't know if I'll keep it, or I'll probably end up selling it or something, you know, trading it. But yeah, Loaded, a classic. A lot of Velvet Underground fans, like, they sort of like love this and hate it as well. It's not quite as experimental. I mean, Lou Reed is, you know, going in more of a pop rock direction, which I think suited him, especially at that time. You know, he was kind of at odds with John Cale, who, between the two of them, I mean, they were both really into experimental music, but John Cale really was the one that brought the, you know, that real experimental element to the Velvet Underground. And when he left, I think Lou Reed really wanted to go in a more pop rock direction, especially with the addition of Doug Yule, and his song, Doug Yule's song, "Oh Sweet Nothing." I mean, just such a classic. But yeah, I love this album. Beautiful original on Atlantic. You know the Atlantic label, so I'll move on. Here's a nice comp that I wasn't aware of. I'm sure it had been shown in the VC. I just don't recall. I'm sure, you know, haven't had a lot of time to be online a lot. So, but anyway, but it's a really cool French. So yeah, a voyage across French cosmic and electronic avant-garde from 1970 to 1980. Cosmic Machine. So the 2 LP set. Look at that. Really cool. A lot of sort of again, cosmic, sort of funky or disco-y sort of tracks. It varies, you know, but it features some fantastic French artists. A lot of them I've never heard of, but it does have Serge Gainsbourg on here. Alan Gorger, however the hell you say his name, who I believe I don't know if he worked. I know he did the Savage Planet soundtrack. Fantastic work. Jean-Michel Jarre is on here. Droids, the Atomic Crocus. Anyway, really nice set. Bought used. It came into Red Scroll used, and I snagged it, and really glad I did. Excellent. Here's one I gotta thank Fred, Big Star 1000. I believe he grabbed this. He grabbed the CD. He was not aware of it at all, and goddamn, I'm really glad he talked about it because this is killer. Fitz Gore and a Talisman. So yeah, recent. I guess this is actually a comp too, made up of different singles that come out. I want to say in Germany, but he's born in Jamaica, Jamaican-born saxophone player. Moved to Europe and recorded, put together this group, the Talisman, and real sort of spiritual, sort of funky stuff, and it's really good. He covers Horace Silver songs for my father, and he also has a track Requiem for Julian Cannonball Adderley. But yeah, excellent, highly recommended. Do check it out. Yeah, Fitz Gore and the Talisman. Still pretty new, you know, still get it. I believe it's limited release. That's all it says. Anyway, I got this a while ago now, but I finally got an original. I only had the more recent reissue of this, but Tim by the Replacements. So now I have originals of all their albums, everything. So yeah, you know, I was happy to get this. It's not my favorite. It's still one of their better albums. Don't get me wrong. To me, Let It Be is just, you know, that's Hootenanny, Let It Be. I love the earlier sound when they had more of a punk sound. You know, some tracks on here I could kind of take or leave it, but overall, it's a great album. I'm glad I have it. On Sire, so their first album not on Twin Tone, and a beautiful copy at that, so happy to get it. And probably what came out of this same collection, and if you recall, if you watched my last video, I showed a copy of Sister by Sonic Youth, and the thing was beautiful. Like, it looked like it just came out of the shrink, but it was a true original. And I got this at the same store, and I'm kind of, you know, convinced it came out of the same collection because it's just, again, so mint, like, it's unreal. But an original of Doolittle by the Pixies. Again, another one I have a reissue of, and came across an original. And it's hard to, when these go for a good price, to walk away from an original. But great album, classic. I mean, you guys know this. Very influential. Indie rock. I mean, classic. All right. So moving on. This one I kind of took a chance. I checked it out in the store, and I was like, sort of like Psych Exploito in a way. Heavy on the sitar, obviously, because the name of the album is Lord Sitar. And this features the guitarist, I believe is Big John Sullivan. Not the John Sullivan put out UFO and Light in the Attic. Different guy, session player, I believe. And I believe this is sort of his thing. So this is doing mostly like pop songs and things in a sort of psyche, sitar fashion, like they do I'm the Walrus, Eleanor Rigby, I Could See for Miles, Blue Jay Way, Black is Black, Tomorrow's People, Daydream Believer, and yeah, this goes for a little bit of money sometimes, which is interesting. It's on Capitol, U.S. Press. I'm glad I picked it up. It's a cool album, and I really like the cover. I mean, that's what really struck me first. And yeah, Lord Sitar. Here's one that I've seen it around. I know, it's been talked about quite a bit, and never really checked out. And I've since picked up other albums by this guy, but this was still the one that I was after, and I finally got it, and I finally listened to it. It's a cheap album, and I put it on. I was just like, God damn, this is good, But Manu Dibango with Soul Makossa, an original, the original, on Atlantic, fantastic jazz funk. I mean, from 1972, just incredible. I forget exactly where this guy's from. South Africa, maybe. I forget. Anyway, you guys probably know this musician. Fantastic stuff. If you see this, get it. That's all I can say. It's fantastic. All right, some UK folk here. 1, 2, 3, 4, all reissues, but still things I've been after. And this one, I should say too, a lot of these from that dealer, I would buy something a little bit more pricey, which I'm going to show here, and he'd throw in a few records for free. Or one time he had a bunch of stuff and he was going to get rid of, and he let me pick out a bunch of things and for like $20. So a lot of it's from there, But yeah, Fresh Maggots. So here's a UK folk duo. Really interesting progressive folk, psych folk. But yeah, a duo, and they only put out this one album in 1971. They're from Warwickshire, and sort of UK folk, psych folk with electric guitar, no drums that I can recall. I don't think there is, but yeah, Fresh Maggots. This is a limited repress, only 1,000. I have number 512 on Sunbeam. So yeah, cool stuff. This is one. I bought this, I believe Red Scroll ordered this for me. I asked them to order it because I've wanted this for a while. And it was like, I felt like I was never going to get it because for a time, these reissues, where it was out of print and people were charging $50, I ordered it one time and I can't remember. I think it never came. Or no, the seller wrote me back and said they didn't actually have it. So I was just like, God, am I ever going to get this thing? Originals of this are very expensive. I would love an original of this or their first album. I mean, just sort of grail material. And yeah, this is the kind of stuff that this dealer that I'm talking about has. But this is C.O.B, or Clive's original band. So yeah, with Moishy McStiff, goddamn, Moishy McStiff and the Tartan Lancers of the Sacred Heart. Fantastic. So this is Clive, what's his name? Clive, let's say Clive Parker? No. What's his name? It's going to bug me now. I can't. Clive Parker, I think. Anyway, he was in the Incredible String Band for a time. He started his own band, and yeah, they put out Spirit of Love, their first album, and then this one. Everyone seems to gravitate towards this one probably for the cover. Maybe it's a bit more out there. Spirit of Love I've checked out as well. I'd love to get that, man. Jesus. But yeah, fantastic. Again, psych folk, A lot of more traditional elements going on here, but still just incredible. You know, sort of lumped in with Kolnas. But yeah, excellent. Glad to finally get this. Again, on Sunbeam, comes with a really nice book with an interview with the band. Excellent. And here's another one. I have a reissue of their second album, and I've wanted their first. And again, another situation where I just couldn't get my hands on this. But that is Forest, their debut. Yeah, again, this one's on Radioactive. And again, limited of 1,000. This is number 748. Again, UK Psych folk, just fantastic. You know, just the highest order. I love this band. I love their second album as well. And again, it's, you know, originals of this were just, you know, out of my range. I would just die for an original. I mean, incredible stuff. So, Forest, their debut. So glad to finally get this one. And this one I just got yesterday. Now, yesterday I made a purchase, and he threw this in for free. And I was really happy about it. It's a reissue, but it's beautiful. I don't know how easy this is to get now, but yeah, this is just, again, Psych folk, UK Psych folk, really out there. I listened to it once and I liked it, and I already know it's the kind of thing with more listens, I'm really going to grow to love this record. But this is Mice and Rats in the Loft by Yandux the Grey. So yeah, this is a reissue on Earmark. Yeah. So a really nice 180 gram reissue from, it originally came out in 1971. Again, originals of this are also very expensive. That dealer has an original of this, incredibly. And their other album as well. They have another one, I believe. Not that familiar with them, but yeah, I really enjoyed this. So yeah, the cover is just, it's really nice, but it's not really a cover. It just opens up like this. You know, it's just a piece of cardboard. That's them there. And the album is really nicely done. It sounds good. And the vinyl is clear on Earmark. So yeah, he threw this in for free. It's in near mint shape. And a really nice heavy cover there. So a vocal and multi-instrumental trio that should eventually reach the same heights as Donovan, Moody Blues, The Incredible String Band, and Fairport Convention. Brilliant is a much-abused word, yet to call Yandux brilliant would be an understatement. One of the more mysterious and beautifully poisonous albums from an undeservedly forgotten vaults of acid folk from the 1970s. Yeah, very cool. Now this is veering off here. Sort of a modern library record, you know. Think library, funky sort of library music with a hip hop sort of edge, for lack of a better description. I know this artist has one other album. I don't know if it's in the same sort of genre. I have no idea, but this is fantastic, and I highly recommend it. If that sounds like your kind of thing, sort of jazzy, funky library music, but with sort of sort of a hip hop feel at times. So this is Dr. Zygote with Grupo Zygote. So this is a new release. I want to say it came out probably the end of last year on the Black Acre Library series. Fantastic stuff. Highly recommended. I've listened to this a number of times, and yeah, it's just incredible. So do check it out. Yeah, Black Acre Library out of the UK. Awesome. Got an original now. I bought a reissue of this, and then shortly after, from the same seller, I bought an original, and that's Doug Carnes, Adam's Apple on Black Jazz. Fantastic. I mean, just a classic. Probably one of his best albums. Yeah, really happy to get it. There's the label there in beautiful shape. Happy to get that one. This one's a mystery. I don't know much about it, and there isn't much online on this release. It's a private press. If anybody out there watches this and is familiar with this album or knows anything about it, please let me know. And I'm kind of on the fence about this too, because it's one of those albums that, in theory, like I should like. You know, like it has a lot of elements to it that I usually like. What gets me though on this is the vocals, and the vocals are really sort of they're non-stop almost. It's just these incessant vocals that have this really primitive effect and make it sound, I don't want to say robotic, but like tinny, like some really some really cheap effect. But other than that, the music is fantastic. It almost reminds me of like this Heat. Yeah, it's called Twilight and the Endless River Flows. 1990, New Age of Atlantis Rising. Visions of the Hidden City complete. So yeah, this was a private press. Somewhere online it said it was released in 1980. I can't even confirm that. It was still sealed. You could tell it was an older record that's just been sealed. I gotta listen to it some more and really sort of judge it. I took a risk on it because you usually sell this type of stuff pretty easy. You know, if it turns out I don't like it, very experimental Psych with like almost like a punk attitude edge to it. You know, like it definitely has a DIY sort of thing feel to it, but it's not really punk. It's hard to describe. You know, like a post-punk sort of thing. You know, again, I'm thinking Deceit by This Heat. But yeah, interesting. Private press. Here's a Psych pop, Psych folk at times classic that I've wanted for a while, and man, this is damn good. It really should get more credit than it does, and that's Thorn Shield. So yeah, an original, some wear on the cover, but the vinyl is very nice. Yeah, just an excellent, sunshiny Psych pop, Psych rock album. Again, I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with this. Really good stuff. I have a solo album by one of the members, Bob Ray, and that album is incredible too. Very Donovan-esque, But yeah, Thorn Shield, fantastic. Now this is an interesting one, and I almost passed on it. It just didn't click as far as what it was, and I'm really glad I didn't, because it turns out I like this quite a bit. Again, I probably should have kept this with the UK folk section, but this is the Sally Angie with Children of the Sun. Again, the cover's got some issues. There's some wear, edge wear, that sort of stuff, but it's in really nice shape. The vinyl looks unplayed. And who this is, if you don't know, by the way, is Mike Oldfield and Sally Oldfield. So yeah, I want to say this is the first thing that Mike Oldfield appeared on. So yeah, very sort of whimsical UK folk, Psych folk. Really good, really nice stuff. Again, whimsical, that has a childlike quality. Really just, you got to listen to it. And another thing about it too is that it's a US press. I believe it was on Transatlantic originally, and it's a white label promo. The vinyl is just near mint, really glad I grabbed it. Excellent stuff. This one too, I took another. Well, again, I checked it out in the store, but I wasn't quite sure how I felt about it. I liked it enough to say, okay, I'll grab it. It was $7. Turns out I love it. It's an interesting album. It's varied. It starts out kind of folky and then gets way more jazzy. And that is the Steve Barron Quintet, The Mother of Us All. All right, and this is an original on Tetragrammaton, this label. And yeah, this is fantastic. This guy, it's again very jazzy. It starts out with this folk song, and then, it just very jazzy, jazz guitar. It's just incredible. Didn't really know much about this, but it's excellent. Highly recommended if you see this. Steve Barron Quartet, The Mother of Us All. Excellent. All right, another classic here, an original, which I never see, but that is the Grateful Dead's Anthem of the Sun, an original copy of this on Warner Brothers. Green label, classic. I won't really talk too much about it. Sounds way different than the mix I'm used to. Actually, is this mono? It might be. I don't know, but I put it on. I'm just like, God damn, this is so different. I know this album well, but the mix is completely different. I got to look into this some more. Sounds just way different. So it could be the mono mix. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is a bootleg, but it's an old bootleg. And I've wanted this album. I almost bought the reissue once or twice, but never did. And that is the Wizards from Kansas. Another Psych album, a Psych classic, really. And this is like an 80s bootleg. An unofficial press of it. Pirate press. Sounds pretty good, and it was free. So I can't really complain. Yeah, the white label promo version of it usually is a bootleg, so be aware of that. But yeah, classics are really out there. I mean, these guys were definitely partying in the studio, no doubt. But yeah, the Wizards from Kansas. Here's one that's just incredible. U.S. band, I believe they're from Maryland, and very much in the Canterbury style, Canterbury scene sort of music, and that's sort of arty jazz rock, and that's the Muffins with Mana Mirage. I believe I first heard about this from Scott May. Scott, if you watch this, found it really cheap. Really glad I did. It's incredible. It's just an excellent record. When did this come out? 1978. I don't know what label this is. Random Radar Records. There's the back. Yeah, fantastic record. If you like Canterbury, do check this out. And here's the label. Yeah, Random Radar. There you go. What do we have for time here? Sorry. 26 minutes already. Alright. I'll try and move a little quicker here. Harlem Bush Music by Gary Bartz and the NTU Troupe. Excellent jazz record. I mean, I can't really say much more about it than that. It's not really free jazz, It's sort of more, I want to say more traditional jazz, sort of, with vocals at times. And but I really enjoyed it. It's just a really good jazz record. And glad to pick it up. I got to listen to it some more. Haven't had it that long, so yeah, Harlem Bush Music. Here's a replacement copy. Here's another classic. I got a replacement copy because the copy I had of this was sort of like, played with noise, But yeah, an original mono of The Doors, their first album. Now, I have another copy. Again, the record is beat, The cover's nice. This one, the record is like near mint, and the cover's kind of beat. I mean, not beat. I mean, it's just ring wear. The other one has less ring wear than this, so I might swap them out. It's the same pressing. But yeah, a mono mix of this for a great price. Now, oddly enough, this is one of the most valuable records in my collection, according to Discogs. So, go figure. But yeah, the mono, original Electra. It's in beautiful shape, plays perfectly. Nothing wrong with it. So, yeah, it really is. I think out of everything I'm showing here, it's the most valuable by far, according to Discogs, which is interesting. Anyway, moving on. This is another one I got for free, and I showed this band's second album in my last video, and was talking about it to that dealer I was talking about, Mike. His name's Mike. So he gave me this for free, The Sound of Feeling, with their first album. This features Oliver Nelson. So yeah, their second album is much more experimental. This is pretty much more straight jazz with vocals, but still really enjoyable. They do My Favorite Thing. What else they do? Green Sleeves. But yeah, very cool. Beautiful shape too. Usually everybody goes for the second one, which the name is escaping me at the moment. Spleen or something like that. Anyway, yeah, The Sound of Feeling and The Sound of Oliver Nelson. Cool stuff. Here's a really underrated Psych album, in my opinion, and I'm really glad to get an original of it. Once again, there's some wear on the cover, but the vinyl is beautiful. This band came out of the L.A. Laurel Canyon scene, and I think they only put out this one album, but that's Quatrain. And yeah, an original of this, white label promo. Now again, cover's got some wear. I mean, like a sticker rip here and ring wear, a little bit of edge wear, but the price was right. It's an original of it. This was produced by David Briggs, Neil Young's longtime producer. So yeah, these guys were around Laurel Canyon and met David Briggs. White label promo. This is another one on the Tetragrammaton. Yeah, label. Fantastic psych rock album. It's been reissued. I'm really happy I got an original of it. Beautiful, beautiful record. cover's got some wear, and another one where the cover's got some wear, record's beautiful, and that is J.K. and Company, Suddenly One Summer, an original on white whale. I know there's some variation with the label. This could actually be, this came out the same year, 1967 or 68. I don't know if this is the second pressing or the first pressing, but you know, as far as I'm concerned, it's an original. It came out that year, you know. But yeah, fantastic. Everybody probably knows the story with this guy. 17-year-old kid. I think he's from Vegas, and he goes up to Canada and records this album, and it is just amazing. People compare it to Radiohead. It's really out there, like a total Psych classic, and really glad I have an original of it. You know, excellent stuff. So here's another original to replace an actually unofficial pressing that I have. But yeah, Craftwork with Computer World for $11 in beautiful shape. I wasn't gonna leave it. I'll sell the one I have. I'm pretty sure is a pirate press, so happy to get that. Here's another one I was really happy to get. I'm actually reading a book about this band right now, and that's Felt with The Splendor of Fear, their second album. Felt are a really just fantastic band, really interesting, and their sound changed a lot. It's almost like they didn't. I mean, the one consistent member was Lawrence, the guy Lawrence. Their sound changed so much that probably didn't help them, you know. But yeah, Felt, The Splendor of Fear, pretty much instrumental with the exception of a couple tracks with vocals, but fantastic. And original and Cherry Red. Anyway, sorry. Felt. Here's a really excellent free jazz record. And this is Harma Gherkin and John, how do you say his name? John Chikai, with Boule and Tehran tapes. Yeah, excellent. World music, free jazz sort of blend there. Just the two of them, a duo. Recorded May 7th, 1977 in Iran, and May 22nd, 1977 in Afghanistan. Sorry, May 5th and May 22nd in Iran and Afghanistan. So yeah, this is kind of hard to come by. Found this at Red Scroll. But yeah, but what you got is two guys playing piano, saxophone, and a whole bunch of different percussive instruments, you know, world music sort of stuff, blended with free jazz, and it's excellent. Really glad I picked this up. Another original, couple classics here. Another original to replace a reissue, the pop group with Y. A nice original of this. Post-punk, really sort of experimental. Not sort of, it is experimental. From 1979. Yeah, really happy to get this one. And along with this one too, this one is a mono with the Yardbirds, Little Games. Original mono pressing on Epic. So yeah, again, a little bit of wear on the cover, nothing too bad. I mean, this was the one that features Jimmy Page. You know, excellent. This is another one. I got this for free, and it turns out it's pretty damn valuable. These guys came out of Boston, a real strange group. It's lumped into the Boston Psych scene, but it's Psych, I guess, but in a strange way. It's a really sort of different sort of album. I guess you got to hear it. The vocals sort of, if there was one complaint, it's the vocals. I mean, there's male and female vocals. Check it out for yourself. And that's the Fort Mudge Memorial Dump. So yeah, apparently this is a pretty valuable record. Again, it's not without its issues. There's some edge wear. It's on Mercury. The record's really nice. Plays beautifully. So yeah, very cool. Scored an original, the Olivia Tremor Control, Black Foliage, Animation Music, Volume 1. There's the front. So yeah, an original press. I have the reissue again. 2 LPs, no gatefold on the original pressing. And yeah, sort of modern day neo-psych Psych rock, psych pop, and excellent record. Glad to score an original. So another one, Daniel Johnston with 1990, an original pressing of this. Daniel Johnston, of course, how to describe him? I mean, super talented songwriter. Very lo-fi, of course. He records tapes at home. It's sort of his thing, and yeah, I've scored this at Red Scroll. Really happy to get it. Excellent stuff, Daniel Johnston. If you haven't seen The Devil and Daniel Johnston, do check it out. But yeah, 1990. All right, now we're getting into the real grails here. What do we have for time here? 35. I'll try and be quick. All right, an original Coliseum Valentine Suite on Vertigo. Yeah, I mean, was really happy to find this. I have the U.S. press of it. Yeah, very happy to get this. I believe it's a totally different session than the U.S. press with. I want to say a different singer. It's been a while. I looked this up when I got the U.S. press a while ago. Jazz rock, you know, really sort of cool. Yeah, on Vertigo, an original. It's a U.S. press or no UK press, 1969. Yeah, I love that it still has the inner sleeve. But yeah, Coliseum of Valentine Suite gatefold. Excellent. Got this for a really excellent price. All right, UK jazz. Chris McGregor's The Brotherhood of Breath on Neon, an original of this as well. So yeah, UK jazz, fantastic. Features John Sherman, Chris McGregor. Very cool. Really glad to get this. Who else is on here? Alan Skidmore, Nick Evans, Mike Osborne, John Sherman. Gatefold. Fantastic stuff, really. Alright. This is one I wanted for a while. What's funny is there was a copy of this on eBay, and the picture showed a little tear in the corner. And I was like, I wanted the record, but I didn't want it with that. So another one popped up on Discogs. So I bought it. The price was right, and I bought it. It comes, sure enough, it was the same seller. So I got the one with the little tear. Billy Harper, The Awakening. Other than that, and there's another little tear on the other side there, which sucks. But other than that, the thing's beautiful. Fantastic. Billy Harper Quintet. Much sort of freer than his other stuff that I've heard. And this is just killer. This guy is a monster. And really glad to finally get this on Rick Ballard Imports. I know some of you are familiar with that, right? Rick Ballard Imports. Yeah, really happy to score this. Here's a private press, really out there. It opens up really cheesy, but then gets really sort of cosmic and out there. And that is Francisco with Cosmic Beam Experience. So yeah, private press, sort of. It's a guy that just sort of plays all the instruments. Very sort of new agey, spiritual, psychedelic stuff, you know, but you can only see that cover too well, can you? Cosmic Beam Experience. Yeah, got this for an excellent price. Happy to get it. That's the original inner sleeve. That's him there. So, and there's the label. So yeah, there you go. Krautrock record now. I haven't talked Krautrock in quite a while. But I got an original of Guru Guru's Hinton. Yeah, look at that cover, huh? Yeah, it's an original press. Greatest cover art ever. On ore. Beautiful shape. Yeah, so happy to get that. Guru. This one is really good as well. I didn't know what to expect, and it's really varied. I'll just show it. Deadly Weapons. John Zorn, I mean, that's the name for me there. But also has Steve Beresford, David Toop, Tony Marshall, John Zorn. So this is a sort of soundtrack to a film that doesn't exist. You know, a film noir. You know, very sort of dark, and it's really varied. So very jazzy at times. It's almost like you're in a bar in Paris at night with a jazz club, you know. And other times it's really out there and avant-garde, and but it's just incredible. I absolutely love this record. Got this at Red Scroll on the NATO label, French press, French release. Yeah, highly recommended. It's got one split at the top there, but other than that, it's beautiful. And yeah, love it. Incredible record. John Zorn, Deadly Weapons. Highly recommended. Another one I got to thank Scott Mays for. I didn't know about it, and it turned out Mike, my local dealer, had this, and I couldn't believe it. Another private press. Well, I don't know if this is private press actually. It's on the Nocturne label, and that is the album is One by the Gravity Adjusters Expansion Band. Pristine copy of this too. So what this is really sort of real experimental, percussive. I mean, there's a list of instruments on this record that they use. Some electronics, but mostly they're playing a whole lot of different things, and it's really sort of dark and out there. I think Stockhausen at times, it's really experimental like that. Psychedelic at times. It's a really cool record, and glad I picked it up. Got it for excellent price, so yeah, it's pristine, like it looked unplayed. So anyway, all right, getting down to the last few here, and these are just records I never thought I'd own. 41 minutes. So I'll go through them quick. Never thought I'd own these in a million years. And I'm really happy about it. So first I'll start with Nirvana. So Nirvana, not that Nirvana, the British Nirvana, with their second album, All of Us, or its full name is the full name of this album is The Existence of Chance is Everything and Nothing, while the greatest achievement is the living of life, and so say all of us, or all of us. So yeah, this is the UK psych rock, psych pop, progressive leaning band, and yeah, this is their second album. This is a US press. I believe it originally came out in Ireland, their stuff. And one album, their third and final album, I believe, is on Vertigo. But yeah, Bell Records, US press, near mint shape. There's the Bell label. God damn, I never thought I'd own this. And along with that, they had Nirvana. And along with that, this is the one I really wanted. Nirvana. So glad to get this. The Story of Simon Simopath, presented by Nirvana. Now, some people say this looks like Nevermind. Of course, the font is the same for Nirvana. Geffen paid this band quite a bit of money for the U.S. Nirvana to be able to use the name. This band also claimed that the cover to Nevermind, copied this with the swimming baby. It's a stretch, it really is. But this is an excellent album, and I don't know why it doesn't get the credit it deserves. Probably the first concept album, truly, or at least half of it. But excellent, so damn good. Like psych pop, psych rock, but just excellent. Highly recommended if you've never checked this out. Now, what's cool about this, again, it's a U.S. press on Bell, but this one is a white label promo. So the Bell label, their promos look like that. And yeah, just incredible. Never ever see these, so really glad to get them. Alright, moving on. Couple two that I've wanted for a while, and again, never thought I'd own. So, I'll start with this one. This is a French progressive band, Phillipsham Bees with Boule. Or they call themselves Boule. Now, this is the second press on Tapioca, 1975. This came out in 76. Electronic, progressive, French electronic, prog rock at times. Sometimes it's more ambient. Other times it's more spacey and cosmic. Other times it's more like progressive rock. 2 LP set in beautiful shape. So glad to get this thing finally. The original, which came out, I believe, on Boule Records, it seems to be incredibly rare. Everybody usually has this one, Boule, on the Tapioca label. There's the gatefold. Yeah, really happy to finally get that one. And along with that, Phillipsham Bees with Libra, an original of this. Incredible. This guy was just a legend, really. Yeah, an original press of this. This is on, what label is this? I don't really know. On the this one I think is on the Pole label. But yeah, this one is an original. Got those two from the same seller as well. Yeah, awesome. All right. Also, Australian electronic prog. Yeah, Cybotron with Kolnas. This is an Australian press, but it's the second press on Neutron Star Records. Yeah, Australian press. So yeah, their second album, technically their third album, but their second official album. Excellent. Not as good as the first two, let's say, but still, this is just incredible. So happy to get this. Yeah, has the, excuse me, has the inner sleeve. Yeah, I have that one too. Anyway, moving on. Here's a jazz grail. Two jazz grails, I should say. This is another longtime want of mine, and goddamn, I'm really pleased that I own this. Marching On by the Heath Brothers. This is an original on Strata East. Such a good album. Sampled multiple times, I think most notably for Nas's Illmatic by Q-Tip, the DJ Q-Tip. Illmatic is just one of the greatest records ever. I own it, believe it or not. You know, I don't show hip-hop very much, but that album I love. Anyway, Marching On by the Heath Brothers. So the second side, the Smiling Billy Suite, I believe part 2 is what was sampled. First side is much more mellow, you know, sort of maybe more delicate kind of sounding. The second side opens up a little more and gets a little funkier, and this is just an awesome album. So yes, the Heath Brothers with Stanley Caldwell, 1976, on Strata East. The label. So glad to get this one, man. Yeah, excellent. All right, these last two are just, again, incredible. Never thought I'd own this one either. Never. I tried numerous times. But that is Ian Carr and Nucleus with Solar Plexus. An original UK press of this on Vertigo. Again, UK jazz rock. The only thing wrong with this is there's some sort of little stain there. I don't know if it's like, looks like coffee, to be honest. I tried cleaning it off. It doesn't really come off. Other than that, though, this thing is beautiful. It doesn't have the inner sleeve, but yeah, it is an original on Vertigo. So glad to finally get this album. Excellent jazz fusion. 1971, the third album. I always think it's their second one because I think it's listed on Discogs as their second, but it is their third. Excellent. And finally, this is the grail here. Never in a million years thought I'd own this. It's a favorite album of mine. Really is. Another UK folk, psych folk. This album is unique in a lot of ways. I don't think there's really much else out there like it. Goes for a lot of money, this thing. I got a really good deal on it, I must say. It's officially the most expensive record in my collection. The most I've ever paid, let's say. I think The Doors is actually more valuable than this. But anyway. And that is First Utterance by Kolnas. An original. I've had the Rise Above Relics reissue for a while now. Absolutely love this album. A lot of people say it's really weird, and I can see why, but I've honestly listened to it so much that I know it so well, it's not really weird to me anymore, you know? But yeah, an original of this. I'm really happy to have this, let me tell you. Other than a bit of edge wear, a little bit of, you know, just sort of age in general, it's in beautiful shape. There's a mark or two on the vinyl, but that does not affect play at all. Plays beautifully. And I'll show you the... Sorry this video is so long, but what can I say? On the Dawn label, yeah, and it has the insert as well, which apparently is kind of hard to come by with the insert. So yeah, those are my finds, guys. Yeah, hope you enjoyed that. I promise next time I come back, it will not be like this. But yeah, leave me comments, and I appreciate it if you hung in there and watched this thing. Yeah, as always, I mean, so yeah, comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.